Heard they been asking about me, I'm up now. I be the topic that everybody discuss now. But anybody talking crazy could get touched now. Told me they gon' catch me slipping, I'm like, pull up now. I'm getting tired of them scary hoes acting tough. The only shot she ever sent was straight to her butt. Man, I can't stand a mixy bitch cause I stay in the cut. But if you wanna run your mouth, I'm fucking you back. I'm always focused on the bag, I never could stop. These bitches beefing with themselves.
Yo.
Premiere new music.
Oh no, that's the homie right there. That's Chrissy Bands right there. She got a new joint with Freeway out, so I had to show her some love.
Chrissy be definitely doing her thing. Shout out to her.
Okay. Sounds fire.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Some new holiday music for us? That's what we got from us?
Yo, get your drink on and get you a couple of Henny, motherfucker.
I had to give up on the Henny, man. I'm done with Henny, bro. I can't do Henny no more, man. I'm sorry. I'm past that era in my life where I drink Henny at the cup. And there's nothing wrong with anybody that still does it, but I don't know. Me, I can't do it anymore.
So that was me, Henny, and Red Bull all day. Now let's see after the baby what happens, because I might just die.
So no Henny. Can we still do? Can we do Douce? Because that's a little classier for you, Sean.
Not even that either. I'm not even gonna hold you, man. Listen,
I can't even do Douce.
See, I'm drinking Prosecco. I'm drinking some maybe some Riesling. All right. You know I like champagne. I'm a little bougie sometimes. I'm gonna drink some tequila though.
Summer though.
Huh?
We had a whole champagne summer that turned into a whole champagne year.
Bro, it's always champagne. Champagne forever, man.
No, I'm
champagne man. Forever.
Everybody can't relate to these champagne summers, these champagne weekends. You know what I'm saying? Like we already know we had the cheat code. You know what I'm saying? But we did what we did. We legends out here.
Bro, you see all the corks that I got in my fucking window and shit, motherfucker. Like we ran through that champagne, and
what you gonna do with them corks though?
I don't know.
Relax. You gotta relax. The show just started.
All right, it's been like 2.5 minutes.
And Trip almost went for the bait for a second there too. You gotta relax. You gotta relax. Yo, come on, man.
Let's tell them where the fuck we at, man. First of all,
we shooting the shit, man.
Shooting the shit.
We shooting the motherfucking shit, y'all. Already. Already.
Sean, we used to have to set a over under for Sean before he gonna say some wild shit, but now he went away from it for a little bit. Now he back. So this episode's only been not even 3 minutes in, and he already started his bullshit.
But you know what? That's my fault, Eric, because I forgot it's a difference between outside Sean and inside Sean. He outside right now acting up, so he gonna start off early and naturally. If he was inside, he probably could have got like 10 minutes into the show before he got bullshit. But he outside, so it just starts automatically.
He might have been a little more reserved then, right?
Exactly.
Listen, we on the live, so let's not waste too much time, man. Let's get into some shit, man. What's the topic we want to get into right now?
So I think a real big topic that's been going on lately, everybody's been talking about, of course, we got to talk about the Deion situation. Deion being at Jackson State, he made some commitments to those players, to that community, to HBCU. And some people feel away, some people may look at it like a business decision, but it's real. Whew, it's like kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Nah, that's a good point.
I got some feelings about this.
Yeah, that's a good one to get into. Sean, though, I want you to kick it off because you went to an HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what were your thoughts when you heard the news? How do you feel as an alumni yourself?
So, to be totally honest with you, I'm also like a businessman as well. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's like double fold. It's weird. I'm a football fan. I'm a Florida State fan. So I'm a fan of these big Power 5 teams. It's the Power 5, right? Big Power 5 teams. And I'm also a supporter of HBCUs as well. But it's kind of like, it's weird because you get into these situations, you get these opportunities to actually be able to excel, right? But then on the flip side of that, it's like, all right, well, you told me you were going to do X, Y, Z. That's kind of like LeBron and them talking about they was going to win all them championships, and then they ain't win the championships, and they was upset. But, you know what I mean? Not to say this is kind of the same thing, but it's, so to speak, they feel like, some people feel like they were used. I personally am not bothered by it, but I don't know, man. Like, as a business person, I get it. As an HBCU alum, it's kind of, it sucks or whatever because I played football as well, but listen, this is how it is sometimes. I hope more people step up and actually come into these positions and stuff like that, to where they can coach some of these HBCU teams. We have Hugh Jackson, that's at Southern, I believe. So I mean, maybe we get more people that stepping up and helping out with these actual programs or whatever, because there's a lot of programs that can do a lot of good if they get some of these these superstars to come in and show make a show that they actually care.
That's a fact. Bree, what you think?
Um, I mean, this is not a strong topic for me, really.
Say less, say less. Because I mean, me and Trip kind of went back and forth on this, so I don't want to sound redundant, but I think it's unfair to backlash that Dion is getting for this, because there are people who are making it seem as if he left the program high and dry. Let's keep it a buck. Let's call it what it is. Dion did not go to Jackson State. Dion didn't go to any HBCU, right? He's also let it be known that his intention has always been to be the head coach of his alma mater, Florida State University. So that's what he's trying to get back to. But in terms of what he's done for Jackson State in the 3 years, I think you can make a legit argument that nobody has done more for an HBCU as a head coach than Dion has in his 3 years. Because when you talk about him dealing with the water crisis in Jackson, Mississippi, with the sponsorship dollars that he pumped into that university since he's been there, with the attention and notoriety that he brought to Jackson State, all those things have greatly benefited that program. Not to mention, he was giving back half of his salary to the school to cover any other expenses they had. So Dion did right by the school, and he saw an opportunity to now upgrade a little bit and play, in a bigger conference. And I don't blame him for doing it, because he not only got to look out for himself, he got to look out for his assistant coaches. He got to look out for his 2 sons that are on the team. He got to look out for multiple people. And so nothing against Jackson State, but Jackson State ain't going to get you to that next step of Florida State. You're going to have to coach at a couple other stops before Florida State really pay attention to you. And I think Colorado is just one of them stepping stones.
All right, so just so that way I'm up, because I feel like I'm with what you just said. I'm kind of like up to date. So Deion Sanders joined the college football. Was it football? The football team as the coach, right?
Yeah, he was the head coach of Jackson State University. He's been the head coach for the last 3 years.
So now he's not doing that anymore. He stepped down.
He was presented an opportunity. Some of the power schools in college football started approaching him about becoming their head coach. He took a position now going for next season. He finished out this season with Jackson State, so it's not like he left them high and dry. He completed the season. They got one more game, which he's still going to coach for them, and then he's moving on to Colorado University as of next year.
All right. I mean, wasn't there a beef with him and one of the other head coaches because they won, and it was like a big we were talking about this a few weeks ago, right?
Right. Yeah. Dion's personality, tends to rub some people the wrong way.
Yeah, because he's Deion Sanders. He is who he is, and I mean, listen, if the opportunity, if you're not leaving the job high and dry and you're finishing out your job, and you get a better opportunity for you, then take that. You know what I mean? If you're not, I don't know if there's any controversy, but for me personally, I feel like if you want to go somewhere else and make a different move, and that was just like your stepping stone, and now you're getting a better opportunity, do what's good for you. Do, as long as you completing the job and you're not leaving anybody high and dry, I feel like do what you got to do that works for you, and you're not hurting anybody in the interim.
Well, so what happens, Bree, is that because you like the term that you just used, leaving them high and dry, right? So there's people that feel like that's what Dion is doing, right? So
Okay.
they'll look past the fact that in 3 seasons he completely transformed Jackson State University, right? They'll look past the fact that in 2 out of the 3 seasons they won the SWAC championship, right? They'll look past the fact that they went undefeated this last season and won the SWAC championship, right? And that's just the on the field football resume, right? But now when you adding in the sponsorship deals, the taking money from his salary to put back into them finishing the facility, so they actually have some way to practice. So they didn't have to not practice if the weather conditions was too crazy. They had an indoor facility. You know what I mean? Bring in the notoriety. You got Gillian Wallow pulling up. You got the cast of P Valley pulling up. You got Young Dolph, rest in peace, pulling up. You know what I mean? All of these things that Deion Sanders has done for the school. And I heard something today. I was listening to a clip from Van Lathan's podcast, and he was talking about what Deion did for Jackson State and what he did for HBCUs, and he was kind of saying that he didn't really do much for HBCUs, and I'm like, no, he did a lot for HBCUs, because the amount of notoriety that just him being there for these 3 years, that boosts every HBCU up, because I guarantee you that half the people who now know about HBCUs only know because of Deion. Because I think we had the conversation before. I could probably tell you myself, and I'm a sports guy who's been hosting a sports show. Off the top of my head, I can give you like 5 HBCU schools.
But that's what. Can I real quick? Can I jump in there? So with him doing that, it's still kind of like, in a sense, it's people still only know about 5 schools. Even so it's like he helped, but then it's like people still are only knowing about 5 schools or whatever the case may be. So you were saying, I'm sorry, brother.
Jackson State wasn't one of them 5. I'll tell you that much. I tell you that Jackson 5 was not one of the schools that people knew before.
Well, the Jackson 5 ain't got a school in the SWAC though. You just said the Jackson 5. As much as we love the Jackson 5, they ain't got no school in SWAC. Like they not SWAC, baby. They not SWAC.
Who is SWAC? You know what I'm saying?
Prime time, baby. Come on now.
But yeah, no. So you got to look at all of these things that Deion has done, and it's like, all right, so he doesn't get the chance to elevate his career and himself and do better things. Like, yeah, I would love for Deion to still be there because of what he has brought. But at the same time, it's like, listen, it's like, all right, one person step up, and then it's like, oh man, if he don't do it no more, it's the end of the world. No, we all got to step up. We listed a few people on the show this past Sunday who would make, great pieces to add to the HBCU. There's so many guys, and not even just in the NFL, just NBA. You know what I mean? Because there's basketball programs with these HBCUs too. So you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, everybody kind of got to step up and do their part. But Deion did a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how much does one person have to be responsible for?
And I'll say this too in defense of Deion, and maybe I am biased because I think Deion is a great, not only was a great player, but a great person, because we see all the work that he does in the community. But like, even if we say, oh yeah, it was only 3 years and he only did this, all right, well, you got another former Hall of Famer in Eddie George at Tennessee State. Has he brought that same notoriety to HBCUs? Has he used his leverage and the connections he has to elevate that program the way Deion did? No, he hasn't. And that's not a knock on Eddie George. I don't want to make it seem like I'm dissing Eddie George. It's not to say that. But let's not try to minimize what Deion has done and make it seem like, well, he's only done this, he's only done that. I encourage people. 60 Minutes did a piece on Jackson State and Deion specifically about 6 months ago during the season. Deion was not only giving back half his salary, he had to deal with the water crisis. So he was calling connections and contacts to bring water into the city. He was doing something that nobody else, even politicians, weren't doing. The president of the HBCU athletic department and division said himself that Deion has far exceeded any expectations they could have thought when he came on at Jackson State, because of the amount of attention and revenue he brought there. The first day he was there, the first call he made, he said himself, was to Under Armour. Under Armour got the school a brand new practice facility and bought all the jerseys and cleats for the whole team. So when Deion is doing things like that, let's not make it seem like, oh, he could have done more. I mean, maybe he could have, but he did a lot in 3 years. Shit, the 60 Minutes piece, like I said, I encourage somebody to go back and look at it. During the water crisis, they had to not only limit how many times they could practice because there wasn't enough fresh water for the players. Deion was taking a fucking bath in a hotel pool, bro. Like, what celebrity is going to that level for the city? Deion could have easily been like, yo, I'm not staying here during that. I'm out of here. I got the resources. And I think it's insulting to people, for people to say, oh, he's going to Colorado for the money, when he was giving back half his salary to Jackson State. Like,
yeah, Deion was rich before he got to Jackson State.
Like, Deion was wealthy before Jackson State. Like, we want Deion, right? And to your point, Shaun, right? We want Deion to bring A1 type coaching to Jackson State, right? We want him to go in the living rooms and get the number 1 recruits like Travis Hunter. So he got to go up against the Nick Sabans of the world, right? Against the Jimbo Fishers. But he not getting paid like them. He ain't got them facilities. He ain't got the same access. So it's like, y'all want him to do all the things that the Power 5 conferences is doing. You want him to do it for HBCU, cool. But he not getting paid for it, though. But nobody brings that part of it up. It's like, oh, he doing it for the money. I mean, we all take jobs for the money. Let's keep it a buck. But how many of us give back half our salary for 3 years for the greater good of that job?
And how many of the people that's been shitting on Dion or hating on Dion, how many dollars did you put in to these HBCUs to help them get those facilities and get everything that they would need to compete with a Nick Saban, you know what I mean, with an
Right.
Alabama, with all of these top schools.
And the sacrifice that his sons is making. His son, that's the cornerback, was at South Carolina University, a major D1 school. He transferred out of that school to go to Jackson State because his pops was the coach there. Shador, who some people said could have been a Heisman hopeful this year with the numbers he was putting up at Jackson State, sacrificing himself. He could be playing at a Power 5 school, but he at Jackson State. Travis Hunter, the cornerback, who was the #1 cornerback in his high school class last year at Jackson State. So Dion is not only making a sacrifice for himself, he got these kids doing it too. At some point, Dion got to look at everybody involved. My assistant coaches ain't getting paid what they supposed to be getting paid. My players ain't getting, though they're getting notoriety, they not still at the level they should be at. So this is bigger than Dion. And I think, like I said, it's a little insulting for people to make it like, oh, it's only a money grab. Dion had money way before Jackson State. Dion built his own fucking school in Texas. He don't need this shit. Let's keep it a buck. He do not need this.
Thanks.
But you know, folks gonna feel away how they gonna feel away about what you doing, how you spend your money, and how you gonna get other opportunities. You know what I'm saying? These same people wouldn't even take a chance on themselves or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? This shit is like, everything is business. You know what I'm saying? Everything is negotiable. I hate to say this shit, but that's kind of what it is. You know what I mean? A lot of times when you're looking at these type of coaching situations, you don't always get these situations as a black man. You know, so for you to get like a Colorado, that's a big move. You know what I mean? That's a conference that's actually getting some stuff shaking out here. So, you know, for Dion to get that, you know, I'm happy for him. Also, as a HBCU graduate and a former athlete as well, like I understand how you feel, but I don't know, man. It's kind of like damn if you do, damn if you don't. We want people to progress, but it's like, at what rate do we want people to progress? So it's like, you can't kind of tell somebody how you want them to progress. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to kind of support them. So,
yeah. And that's a great point you brought up, Sean, because like I said on Sunday when Trip and I was talking about, I was like, yo, selfishly, I get it. Because I think we were all rooting for Dion if he stayed at Jackson State to keep building it, right? Every week he got somebody hot in there, you know, whether it's Wallow and Gilly, whether, you know, it was Dolph, rest in peace, Dolph, or any one of the other young rappers out there. You like, yo, keep doing that. Keep doing it in that way and bringing the culture to the field now, the way Dion did as a player. Because for a lot of people that don't know, there was one time when Dion had MC Hammer on the sideline of a fucking game when MC Hammer was the hottest thing smoking. And Dion did that shit on some real hood shit, like, yo, my man's gonna stand on the sideline with me and shit. But also, we gotta be fair, right? Because when we see black qualified coaches who don't get a shot, we get mad about that. Right? When there's black qualified head coaches and they get passed over, we be like, yo, that's fucked up. They deserve a shot. Well, guess what? Dion is more than qualified to be a head coach at one of these Power 5 schools. So why should we, like you said, Sean, why should we stop his growth because of our own selfish intentions? He is more than qualified. Let him go there and show it on that level now so that he could show them I'm not just some gimmicky dude that went to Jackson State. I could recruit on the biggest level with everybody else and win games at these Power 5 schools.
Yeah.
Since we on live still. Let's so the Kanye is wilding because he got Chris Paul out here. He bring Chris Paul into things, man. He got to relax. He fucking with my tourist brother. He not bothering nobody. All right, and he bringing him into his messy world, man. He got to cut it out. What's going on with your boy?
The amount that we talk about Kanye, I think he needs to like cut us a check already because his shenanigans is outlandish, and we done gave him almost whole shows because what he has he's wild. He's wild. I thought, you know, he goes through these spurts of going crazy, and then, you know, he comes back, you know, and he's on a whole nother level, and he's throwing everybody under the bus that don't even need to be thrown under the bus just to reflect off of the nonsense and the craziness that he's saying.
First of all, I'm just trying to figure out, when did it become cool to name all the cats that knocked down your lady? I never think that was like a thing. And now you done bigged up Pete Davidson. Okay, I know you done got Pete Davidson so much more woman than he could ever imagine. Okay, now you throwing Chris Paul name under the bus. Like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, you really need to sit down. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's going. Like, he really got to stop and talk to somebody, get some counseling. Get back on the meds, whatever it is he need to do. He needs to do though.
He got Pete Davidson's old joint spinning the block.
Word.
Will Gordon in the chat. Shout out to Will Gordon. I see you in there, kid. Will Gordon in the chat. But yeah, Kanye, that's super goofy, yo. Super goofy shit. Like, oh, by the way, I saw Chris Paul. He was with Kim. All right, and what you did? You walked out the room. You closed the door.
Why you even want to tell somebody smash your lady, man? That's
why.
I'm just right. Like you doing entirely too much. We really watching this man melt down, and it's nasty because it's getting worse and worse as days progress. Right. Like he just continuously just seem to say more and worse shit. More and worse. Yes. More and worse.
More and worse. That's a good one.
He just be saying shit. Be like, yo, dog. Like you just thought about that, and you just said, yo, you ain't want to run that by nobody. Like you just want to come out here and just say wild shit. All this, like, come on, man. Like, and the shit was going for a long time. Everybody that was around him, they was cool because he was making music. He was doing all this shit, man. And like Bree said, like we talk about this motherfucker so much, I get tired of it, yo. Like it be sometimes where like
I got Kanye fatigue.
Talk about it, and I just don't say nothing because this don't make no sense. Like, bro, like
he tried to throw Ice Cube under the bus.
Everybody. I mean, he didn't
sit down no real fast. Whoa, gonna bring me in that shit. He's like, yeah, you inspired my anti-Semitic rants. Like, what?
He's be wilding. I agree with Brito, man. We didn't talk about Kanye. I don't even know how many straight weeks this is that we've had to talk about Kanye. It's like every time we think it's gonna die down, he hits you with another thing. Yeah. And then it'd be something else that we got to get into at that point.
He comes back with one even crazier. Like it's like one tops the other one. Just when we thought he's reached the pinnacle of outlandish shit to say out his mouth, he tops that one. Like at this point, he's done reached number one on our list. I don't know, because he was maybe like at the bottom. I think he's done climbed even our list.
He might be a Soulja Boy Hall of Fame lister at this point.
Nah, he got a wild out. That's a wild out list. That's a whole different
list. Kanye might have started. Will, you a fucking fool, Will. I see your comment in there. Will a comment like a motherfucker. Hey,
we got 82. So if you go on Kanye, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, he's bugging. Hold on. We had something else. Oh, I know what it was, man. Another joint. The longest 2-week notice in entertainment history. Angela, she finally left Breakfast Club. She gave a 2-week notice back in the summertime, remember?
Well, she needed that attention. Yes.
I think she felt bad. Because like how the whole kind of situation kind of played out. I feel like they was the way they were talking about it in real time. They were talking about it in real time, right? Like they felt the way, and they kind of stressed out the whole little. I guess they were talking about it in real time. So
who that is? Who that is with the feedback?
That your man over here being the sound engineer.
That's Will dropping comments in the chat. Shout out to Will, man.
But yeah, nah, like you said, Shaun, it was happening in real time. I think, she kind of expressed herself in a moment and then had to walk it back and realize like, all right, well, I mean, the show really ain't over yet, so I got to kind of still deal with this and still show up to work. But that had to be the most awkward going away party ever, because it was like, we know you was leaving for months. Like we were just waiting for you to officially tell us your quote unquote other show was ready for you.
What's her sign though? Because I feel like she's still holding a grudge over that Gucci Mane shit.
What's her sign? Look it up.
But Charlemagne was saying it though. He was like, "Do you really got a show?" Like he was even like trying to throw her shade. Like, "Do you really got a show? Are you really leaving? Like, what's going on? When is it gonna start?" Yeah, like he was throwing her shade.
Yeah, Charlemagne knows she was bullshit because Charlemagne got his own network, so he know how the whole game go. He like, you ain't got no fucking show. I know you ain't got no show because we ain't trying to sign you to our network. So I know you ain't got no show.
It's supposed to come on after the Breakfast Club goes off. So we'll see how it goes, man.
Breakfast Club just dropped like 2 more interviews this week. They're not going nowhere.
Power. What else? That sounds like that. Like Power on the 5 is like, you know what I'm saying? Like they got some good. What time is Angie going? Like 2?
Well, I think Power 105 is till like 10. It's from like 6 to like 10 a.m., right?
The Breakfast
I
Yeah.
Club.
mean, I know from like, I mean, the Breakfast Club, yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's on after that, then it's on 11 o'clock.
You
Who's
like 11
really?
or something, right?
Work. You listen to Breakfast Club
Yeah.
to work if you're going into work.
But
But
what I'm saying, to you, I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, damn, somebody
Somebody
ain't lost their job.
Nah, keep it a buck.
somebody
Nope.
fight.
Keep it a buck. Nobody listen to Angela Yee podcast now. So
Or
y'all
the lip
not
service joint. That
y'all
shit
not
can't stand some
y'all
of you.
not about to tune in at 11 o'clock weekdays. Yeah, 11 o'clock. First of all, 11 o'clock is a bullshit time to give anybody for their show. Keep it a buck. Because like you said, Trip, by 11 o'clock, you supposed to already be at work or wherever you're supposed to be going.
Somebody
Ain't
will get
nobody starting their day off like, Yee's on, put that on.
Let's do
And
it.
just her, like only her. I don't know, like.
And
Yeah.
she competing with reruns of Maury. That's a
Y'all,
loss.
you
Oh,
still
that's
get
over there.
lip
You can-
service? Y'all ain't
Listen,
lip service?
let me
Nah.
tell you,
Lip service is only
I'll
cool
be
because Stephanie
home.
Santiago. Keep it a buck.
I only watch the
Keep it a
clips.
buck.
I don't. It's not really something I subscribe to. Not saying it's good or bad because I don't know because I don't watch.
Bree just confirmed what I said. Bree said if Maury's on and Angela Yee
I'm
show
watching
come
it.
on,
Cause y'all know how
she
I
don't
feel
care if she
about
already
Mr.
seen that
Povich.
episode. She going back to Maury.
Father.
I'm watching it over again because I need to refresh my memory. I will be watching Maury.
I always wanted to be a Maury cameraman. I always wanted to be a Maury cameraman, yo. Like them just running with that camera, like in my mind, I'm like, did they like run through it? Like, did they go through this before? Are they cameras wireless? Like, how does this work? Because like Trip understand, you know what I'm saying? Like the way they run to the back is like, bro, there's no way you can have cables with that camera. And if you do, like, you're a fucking athlete, right?
That's a
I wanted to
two-man
be a
job.
Maury,
You
yo.
gotta have somebody holding the cables to make sure you don't get caught on any corners, anything.
Or
What you
I
think your 40
think
time got to be for it though?
Oh shit.
You gotta have a 40 time.
At least a 420, 4.20, something like that. You gotta be.
you got a 40 time for the cameraman for Maury. How fast
since
you can run? Let's see.
I watch Maury so often now that I've been home, I feel like they have the beginning runner, right, to catch them as they running off the stage, and then once that cameraman reaches the back, then they're already on cue because it's a whole different angle when they get to the back.
Yeah.
So they got the multiple angles in the back room and then even in the halls, unless the one in the back is the one, because then they running with that one too. So I think the longest one is the ones that they got in the backstage, because then they running through all kinds of rooms.
Yep. No, you got to, and then you got to think about it, right? You also got to be good with the zoom lens, because when you got to zoom out real quick to catch them crip walking, when he found out he's not the father,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be on it. You got to be on point with it. So every cameraman can't do that job. So you got to really be on it.
Yo, Will want to know who if y'all got any candidates to replace Angela Yee.
I heard Remy before. I heard Remy's name pop up.
Nah.
That's like the only person I've really actually heard their name pop up. I wouldn't mind Remy, but I don't know.
She would take that show in a different direction, though. Remy,
I mean,
you know what? I'll take that back. Remy would be good, but she would take that show in a different direction. Like, low-key, their ratings might go up a whole lot more with Remy, because Remy don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, Remy Bronx, old Bronx. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see Remy being on there, and she would validly press Charlamagne and Envy, and they, like,
yep,
she would press them out.
I mean, I was really thinking more of like myself, because
Bree sent in her tape. She sent in her tape already.
Because I could do the Breakfast Club, and I could still do shooting because nothing's gonna interfere with that. You know what I'm saying?
Morning, but you got to get up early though, Bree. I don't know if you can
So that's fine.
I don't know, it might be a conflict of interest.
Then you done at 10 o'clock. By 10:30, I'm done. I'm out. We out.
That is true. I mean, listen, you definitely will be better than the female host that they.
That's a fact. Bree, you got my vote. You got my vote. I mean, if they were to go with Remy, though, Remy's cool too. I promise you, though.
I mean,
if they got Remy up there, I promise you, it won't be one of them Birdman situations.
Oh nah.
You know, Remy don't play that type of shit.
Because Remy will punch you in your fucking face.
Yeah, and it definitely.
Oh, you a bitch ass nigga.
Yeah.
What fuck is you talking about?
You ain't never been called a bitch ass nigga from a girl from the Bronx, bitch ass.
And she gonna tell Birdman suck my dick. So, it's gonna get real ugly up there. It's gonna get super ugly up there.
Motherfuckers gotta fight. Let's get one more topic, before we jump off the live, y'all.
Yo, Lady Gaga, I think the person that killed or kidnapped her dog, the guy got 21 years.
They shot her dog.
Yeah, got 21 years in jail. So, they had the Mike Vick jokes came out of nowhere. But I got 21 years in jail, yo.
Which, okay, but there are real, like, other crimes going on. There are other major offenses that people are committing and they get less time. I'm just saying, I don't know.
You know what? You don't fuck with Peter. I'm saying, like, you don't fuck with Peter. Peter will have your ass doing a serious bid. All right, like that's one of them groups that you don't fuck with, yo. Like, nah, you don't fuck around with them animals. They take that, especially white people in this country. They take that shit very serious. Okay, so don't fuck with these animals out here.
I mean, listen, do the time, but equally convict other, offenders with the same amount of time. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I got a dog myself, and whoever does anything to my dog, I want them to do maximum time as well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, let's have everybody on the same page here.
Oh, listen, I'm with you. I'm just saying, don't fuck with Peter because they will come after your ass. They don't just throw paint on your mink coats no more.
No.
That's that different shit. I'm not gonna say nothing about Peter, so I'll pass it along to whoever else want to go.
And the whites don't play about their animals and shit, all right? Because they be kissing their dogs in the mouth. All right.
Oh, that's yeah.
So
everybody kissing their dog in the mouth,
sharing food.
Yeah, you going to jail behind that shit.
Shout out. Well, RIP. I don't know if you ever seen that stand up, Patrice O'Neal, one of the funniest stand ups ever.
Yeah.
When he was like, "You kissing a jackal on the mouth?"
Yo,
he's talking about people who be kissing their dog on the mouth. That's a fact. Bree, I'm not judging you if you kiss your dog on the mouth. I just think it's awkward.
I absolutely do not. My dog gets close. I'm like, whoa. I turn into the Matrix and shit because we not like, I love you, Papa, but we ain't doing that.
This is a segue though, but will you ever had like the potluck and the white people be and they be wanting to like bring some food and shit?
Wait, what'd you just say about white people's nipples?
Like
potluck. He's okay. He said a potluck.
Potluck with the people that be kissing their dogs in the mouth.
Oh nah, that's nasty. They probably put raisins in the potato salad too, though. Them people. So if you kiss your dog in the mouth, you definitely putting raisins in the potato salad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm standing on that.
I was watching something on Instagram the other day, and this girl was making a pumpkin pie, and the dog was with her in the kitchen, and every time she put an ingredient, the dog was up on the counter licking everything that she was trying to mix.
Don't worry.
Now I don't know if it was the dog's
tongue is
pie.
the cleanest thing in the world.
Listen, I don't know if it was. It was the most confusing thing that I was watching because I'm like, was this pie for him or was this pie for people? Because I'm confused.
But they get like
shit right to work.
My grandmother, when I was growing up, like she had a Rottweiler. Y'all know how big Rottweilers can get, right? So my grandmother's neighbor, he drove upstate to go buy the Rottweiler because he got one for himself and he got one for my grandmother. They were sisters. They came from the same litter. Like, if you kissing a dog that big in the mouth, y'all in a relationship. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Like that shit is just crazy. To kiss a Rottweiler in the mouth, son, that's wild.
Kissing fucking dogs,
that's
you
too
just
much.
A strange individual. You can't be kissing no fucking dogs in the mouth. I don't fuck.
No, but could you imagine a Rottweiler's dome piece? It's damn near the same size as a human, bro. So imagine the fucking tongue on a Rottweiler licking in your face. The shit is fucking disgusting. I never was with that shit. I tell you, you could barely lick my hand.
First of all, if you got a dog, you done told your dog to stop licking their balls before. All right.
Yes, because all you hear is that shit is annoying anyway.
Your dog be giving himself the Gawk 3000. Resale frustrated by her dog. Like, enough. Enough.
Yo, yeah, like, yo, shut up. What you doing? Calm down. Go lick your balls somewhere else, bro. Like, anybody got time for this?
He
Like,
be trying to watch
with
that
you?
shows. He be looking at his
I'm
old
trying to
ball.
watch the show. Exactly. Like, I'm trying to watch my show, and all I hear is you slobbing on your balls. I know they must itch or something, but bro, go outside. Go. You got multiple beds. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, fuck
Okay.
that. I'm at my nuts hang today, nigga. What's up?
Nah, he wild.
My dog gets me tight when he does that. I be
Facts.
like, you need some privacy? Cause
Dogs don't give a fuck about nobody. When they want to lick their balls or they kitty cat, whatever, they don't give a fuck who's around. They gonna be in their little curl up in their little ball and they gonna go to work. And that's gonna be the end of it. And dare you to say some shit to them.
they will stop and look at you like,
yeah, they'll get offended that you
proceed.
said something to them. Like, what? Fuck
Yeah.
you mean?
Excuse you? Don't you wash your balls, nigga? let me ride.
Some of y'all be kissing them dogs in the mouth. Some of y'all be kissing them dogs in the mouth.
Shout out to everybody that's on the live. I see we got a couple people on the live right now. Big shout out to everybody. Shout out to Will. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel. That's the only way you're gonna catch us live. When we do the lives on Wednesday nights, we're gonna keep going live. And then of course, you guys know we got the podcast episodes dropping every Thursday and every Sunday. Make sure you following us on Instagram at Shooting the Pod, and of course on Facebook, facebook.com/shooting the shit. And the same thing with the YouTube channel. Subscribe to that channel, man. We got a whole bunch of stuff that's gonna be coming in you guys soon. We definitely gonna be ending off the year strong with a whole bunch of more content, a whole bunch of crazy ass topics that we do on the program. So make sure you guys are tuned in. And yo, let's get ready to take this overtime in. Let's sign out for the live, y'all.
Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in.
Let them know where we at before we go though. Shooting the shit.
Shooting the shit.
We shooting the motherfucking shit, y'all. Peace.